We'll be back. I'm still waiting for my coffee, but there is going to be something interesting going on in the $450 game. So we are in the final table, and actually we are quite unlucky that we are in here against the most aggressive players there were. And that's still, in a way, that's not a surprise, because usually the most aggressive players are getting to the end stages. And now Elta Romeo is trying to tell me to 3-bet it. And unfortunately I didn't have the hand to 3-bet it. And usually I'm playing slightly tighter there if someone is trying to tell me to 3-bet it. And here on the 35 we are really close to the bubble, and we are having a stack that is going to be perfect to abuse our peers in the table, so I think we are quite happy there. And Ante's in 4 people behind me. I think Ace-3 is going to be too weak. And when the Igor Doctor is folding so much, we are going to be opening any 2 from small blind. And we have been opening any 2 from small blind. So that's something that you need to take into account, that when players are pretty much folding a lot, it opens a lot of spots for you to be stealing. And what you are stealing early, you'll own later. And I'm a bit unsure if that's going to be the final tables that we are going to play. I'm going to open some more turbos still, so that we'll get a good final push. And even as you saw with the 9 queen, even though we didn't hit the board really nicely, we still had a chance to hit the board. So, and now I'm trying to get whatever turbos are opening quickly at the beginning stages of this hour, so that we'll have nice tables to the end. And interesting that we are having a 3-way pot, 3-handed. That's also something that shouldn't happen that often. And I think when every one of you are agreeing that the board will hit his range in a way that he's not going to give up a lot of his range, then I think I need to agree as well. Or I'll need to start to agree. And now we are in the exact bubble on the $35 game, which doesn't matter that much, but it matters on how much of pressure we can inflict on others. So my strategy on the 180-man final table is going to be opening a ton when it gets folded to me. And he has not been folding a lot to a flop bet. But my general strategy will be opening a lot. And actually against Yoko Stars he has been so aggressive, and it's nasty to play something like 25 BBs with something like 7s, 8s, 6s, because you're practically just having all the wrong buttons in your software. I'm trying to get a cheap pot here. I think that we are going to play the table really often, and now he had an ace which he didn't, and now we also needed to show down the 3-4, but I wonder why he didn't bet the ace at any time.
I think they both are trying to play some kind of sneaky game. And I'm not sure how to adjust to their games.
They are folding a ton pre-flop. That's something that I'll adjust by opening a lot. And when I'm hitting, I'm hoping to get some value out of them. What happened there?
Someone woke up with ace-king after you, and the original opener folded ace-queen and showed that.
And Igor Doctor is Phil Helmut, and that can even be correct. And we are trying to get some thin value out of the Alfa Romeo on the river. When he hasn't bet on any spot after the flop, I think that we are going to be able to get some thin value out of him. We are having top pair, no kicker, so and this is still interesting, even though we are having a really short stacks here. Even though we are short stacks, we are still 30 big blinds deep. So, and now we hit quite nicely. It's like we are getting showdown equity, and our showdown equity is enough. That's great. But when he's opening himself also a decent amount of time, the Igor Doctor from the button, then something like Queen 9 suited is an easy defend.
And you defend only by calling at that spot. You didn't think about 3-betting or re-raising.
I don't think that Queen 9 suited would be strong enough. It's also nasty with 30 big blinds to be 3-bet folding there against that kind of player, or getting a really large spot and not getting him fold enough of the time. And so we get a call. And we got the like 2 checks from the Alfa Romeo, and then that's like really weird line to take. And that's what I think, that it's not going to be too thin, because that's something that I thought as well, that I can't come up with any sensible hand that he would have there. So, but even though I can't come up with any sensible hand, it doesn't mean that they can have something like, they can have crazy hands. They don't need to have sensible hands. And with the 6-7, we are going to be betting half a pot. Actually, we could have bet more on the turn, because there are so many draws. It's going to be horrible if he shoves, because the most common draw that he could have would be a flush draw. And this also feels weak, but I'm going to be calling it, because I don't think that if I'm re-raising and he's going to be 3-betting there, I don't think that I'm able to call there. He's playing 57% of his hands, but still we are playing in position, and it's even that we are playing in position, but when he's like folding next to never, it's going to still be annoying, and we should probably be playing more of a range of hands that are capable of hitting the board nicely when we are not getting.
Can I say that I kinda hated that king 3 off?
Yeah. For the record, you are hating them king 3 offs.
Yeah.
I think that in the hand, the king 3 if we are looking at the hand, like he's min raising and I need to pay for 1,600 to play for a pot of 6,800, I'm going to play in position, and he has opened like 60% of his hands. I think it's really hard for me to not to defend that hand.
I just don't appreciate those weak kings, because then if you hit a king, you still don't know if you are in good, even though his opening range is really wide.
If I'm hitting a king, I'm going for it against the Alfa Romeo. So I'm just going for it. Like, I don't think it's the problem. Now we have been hitting some boards nicely.
Yeah.
And now actually the Alfa Romeo and Igor Doctor have adjusted in a way that I'm going to be... Oh well, against Alfa Romeo, when he shoves, I'm going to be getting it in, because it's going to be a weak pocket pair. Like so often.
Yeah.
It's nice to be correct.
It is. You were. Good game.
Who might be in that coach? And actually I think the coach that said that you need a win rate of better than minus 100 BBs might have been wrong. Because here you can also see that you are having large antes, so every win rate that's better than 110, losing than minus 110 big blinds is going to be good. But Eulos Pro, you had a nice coaching about heads up, and that's going to be something that's getting useful even for the other. And Virpa said that when we defend, we can't be folding to every flop. Against a regular opponent we wouldn't, but if we are looking at him that he's taking aggressive option post flop only 38% of the time during the 48 hands, and we have had plenty of post flop situations. I don't think that it's no 3-bet please. That's a funny Brazilian guy. And that's actually still, because 8-7 is and he's having a nice hand. After this I'm still, and after the I'm still, he's really going to have a nice hand here. So now I'm going to be more cautious.
Small steel bet. Oh, those funny Brazilian guys.
That minus 100 BB for 100 hands might have been for cash games without antes, or heads-up sit-and-goes where there never are any antes. And we got another min cash.
I hate that word. I really do. Besides that king tray offhand. In general. Maybe I should switch that to in general.
Actually, if he's not folding that much, why are we betting here?
Because once in every blue moon he is folding.
And Kauris is going to be our NHL scoreboard.
Well, that heads up sit and go coaching by Julos Pro was really good, and I think I really need to revisit that and see the strategy part again, because it was really written down, and that's something I really need to take into consideration, because I'm more of a pushing them buttons kind of a girl. And it feels good, and usually it's almost there, but still it's good to have some really
But that's also something that you are not crafting your edge on the easy hands. Everybody practically knows that if you are raising a pair of aces, it's going to be good. Everybody knows that. But it's more about those icky hands that you are crafting your edge that isn't so easy to, or aren't so easy to play well.
That's true, and that's the place where you can find that small edge for some games that the others cannot find.
And Aarnimetsa. I'm still wondering a bit. We got the fold last time around. Now we are semi-bluffing, and also if we are hitting an ace here, it's going to be good because we are going to get his money in more often if an ace comes than if not. And Markus, I think that most players are not c-betting too much. They are doing the exact opposite. Most actually beginning players are, I think, are c-betting way too little. But if you have been concentrating on c-betting, it might be that you have been taking it over the top and not thinking about why you are betting. And practically that's like a good guideline as well, that think about why you are doing different things. But the Julos Pros, I think the last session with heads up SNGs was really good for, I think it's really good for a really a good amount of people. And I would have known that Vernon Bax is looking at Formula 1 if he's c-betting 107% of the time. And we got really lucky there, and now we got our chip lead. That we had the better two pairs. And when he's shoving, he's having a small pocket, most likely. But there are some weaker aces that we are. I don't like his line there that much.
Did he try to make his hand look weaker by shoving instead of re-raising?
I just think that he's not that good of a player. Most likely that he's not thinking that much. I think that's the more likely explanation.
True that.
We have had him fold to 3-bet some of the time, and now with that kind of a flop, and when we are checking, I think that I'm also having some showdown equity here. Especially after everything that has happened. And I think we are, when the next $35 game opens, I think that's when we have opened our last turbo for the evening. But we are still having a nice amount of games going.
Oh, now he got disconnected.
I wouldn't mind.
If it's still disconnected, what happens to the pot if it's check, check?
It's played as a check when he's disconnected. And that's going to be also what's like the most horrible thing that can happen. That one player gets disconnected on the last table you are playing. That's going to be something that's really annoying.
But if he gets disconnected, then you can put more pressure to Igor.
Yeah, but if he gets disconnected, then it's going to be like 1 minute timeout to every hand for. So if it's your last table and someone gets disconnected, all of the hands take forever.
That's not good. It definitely doesn't look good. Oh, Brazil.
We are getting aces at the $60 game. There's also Colin Moshman from Team Moshman. On the same table, so let's see if we are getting hands together. Although I don't think that we are getting that interesting hands going on when we are so short, both of us. There will be 2 more games opening, and then I'll have a decent set that should end at around the same time.
So he had pocket threes. And now he's disconnected, and every hand will take forever.
I don't mind when we are having so many other tables. If we would have just this one table, it would have been torture.
Oh, he came back.
Oh, he's playing just 2 tables, so. And here it's going to be against a random player that's likely being a bad player. It's going to be an easy call. That's also interesting on the Igor Doctor, that what is the correct way of extracting most value out of him, because he's betting a lot and he's not folding a lot, so. So that's just a mission of extracting any value, and like Kyberi said, the disconnection sucks too when playing Zoom, if you are having a hand that you can't fold, and then it takes forever. But usually if you are playing multiple tables of Zoom, you don't get too bothered if one table grinds to a halt. But it's something like if you're playing just one table of Tomb, it's going to be quite annoying when you need to wait a lot. But if you're playing 3 or 4 tables of Tomb, you are never having a situation that you are completely locked to your game. And when he's just calling, then we think that we are having the best hand most of the time and will be carrying on strongly.
Oh, almost heads up.
And Kuber says it takes 25% away from your speed. It doesn't take 25% away from your speed if you are playing 4 tables, because then you can fast fold quicker on the other tables than you could. And now we should be able to apply a lot of pressure on the Igor Doctor, but in real life I don't think that he feels that pressure the same way that he should. So let's just get to the heads up easily and worry about stuff after that. Kaleon, this is normal speed 180 man. That's why these stacks are so deep. And at the end of normal speed 180 mans, the stacks are going to be so deep. This is a horrible situation to be in. It's going to be a situation that you are looking like your hand is absolutely, it's quite strong, but in relation to the board it's not that strong of a hand. And he overplayed ace queen a bit there, I think. But it's also that when he had the ace of clubs, he is knowing that nobody will have the nut flush there, so it's going to make it better, or it's going to add more courage to
So now it's a heads up time.
And now Julospro must be excited because it's going to be heads up again, and now it's going to be heads up with the deepest stacks.
There's a question, why did you check that Queen 10
out of position with a pot-sized bet left on the river? Could you remind me, Vernon Bax, which table it was?
It was probably that final table. I think there was something that you tried to get the eager bet instead of you because he's been quite active. Or not.
It might have been here then. Now I can't find the Queen 10, and even Dayah doesn't remember.
Top
so
left, but there are so many options. Like 5 minutes ago.
Kauris, my heads up HUD is in progress. So it's shaping up. The problem really with changing the HUD for me would be that it's going to take a while to get adjusted to it. Like on my HUD now, I know what everything means at a glance. Actually, with ace, I should have some showdown equity there as well. In the top left, now I think I remember, and I'll see if I can get the hand, but it's most likely that when I had a top pair there, I thought that I'm not going to get a third barrel of value out of any weaker hand there. That it's really hard to get the, and it might have been that there was, I'm not completely sure, but some of the draws came true. And if by betting myself I'm not getting a lot done, then I just checked on the river. And we are going to try to extract the third barrel of value out of the top two pair. I think it was then ace 10. And why didn't I bet the river was... Because I had the ace 10, but then there were the flush draw that opened up on the turn came through, and also I had a problem in that the straight draws came through on the river, so it was really hard for me to. So then I check folded because even though my hand was strong, in a sense that it's two pairs, but it's not going to be very strong when you are comparing it to a board that will have a flush possibility and only one card required to a straight. And even Kyberi can remember the hand, and we can't.
Maybe it's time to finish up here.
Yeah, we are finishing up. Now we are having the last tables for today rolling, so we'll hope we'll get more final tables.
By the way, was it something like $200 for the winner?
Yeah, $221 for the winner and $150 for the loser. When he 3-bets and there is ace on the flop, I'm thinking that the ace will hit his range a lot more often than mine. And I'm mostly thinking with the Igor Doctor because, well, he reminds me of the great Phil Hellmuth. Then I'm going to be thinking about a bit alternative options.
And if he's going to not fold anything, then I think it's a good idea to tighten up the range you are stealing from the button.
Yeah. He opens. I don't believe that he would have an ace here, so I'm going to be pot controlling a lot here and trying to get the bot in the best. And here's one player that I want to mark.
So we have been playing this heads up for many minutes, and this is the moment when you Lost Pro noticed it. Oh dear.
And you Lost Pro, we have folded one button.
Shame on you.
Oh Father, for I have sinned. And I don't think that it's, even though now we haven't seen that many folds from him, I don't think that he's going to still be calling. Now he has called any flop. every single flop that I have
Exactly.
bet. But I still don't think that he's going to be calling every flop, like in perpetuity.
You still have faith in humankind. Oh, how sweet is that? You must be learn how to play during this heads up.
No. Now you're just being mean.
No.
That's actually that I can't believe that he would have much here. But the problem pretty much is that neither do I. I think that I have screwed up like this hand completely, and then the river is my friend.
That was a lucky luck box. For
And
one hand.
you lost, bro. You wouldn't c-bet queen jack off. And then there is the next question.
Why?
Or that's the more important question.
Because we don't know.
The $60 game, 5 big blind shove from UTG plus 2, you had ace-7 suited. It depends on, do I end the action? Like in here, it's going to be more, then there are still 4 peoples behind me, then I just can't look at his stack and think that I'm going to see the river or that often, so it's going to be pretty hard for me to go there with ace-7 suited. And now I have adjusted that when the guy isn't folding that much, we are tightening up our range, and now we have seen that he's going to be 3-betting us wider than we thought, so we are going to be 4-betting some of our hands, we are going to be 4-betting wider, and we hope that we are catching some hands, because it's nasty to play against a player that doesn't fold that often. Julas Pro, like, my problem with ace-10 off was that against a general player, but I think that when I had the hand, his 3-bet was something like 16%. I think that's really low for heads up. And with the queen jack hand, why I don't get any better hand to fold in flop or fold on flop when there are some of the pairs are really weak on that board, so. And if Igor Doctor's stats would have been like they are right now, I probably would be shipping the ace-10 off as well. But if I'm presuming that he's tighter, then it's going to be harder. But I don't agree that heads up, if I'm having queen high, that I'm not getting better hands to fold. And I'm not going to defend that often, that I'm going to actually defend pretty rarely, because the opponent is also folding a lot of his buttons, so I'm trying to get the pot cheaply. And it's pretty hard to make a pair, you know. And he will be hitting a pair once in every 3 hands. And I think in general you are thinking that people are adjusting to heads up like they should be and not folding bottom pairs. Because I think that people are folding with a frequency that would say that they are folding better hands than you would think. And also when Julos process that should not be folding, and I'm agreeing with you that you should not be folding against only one bet, but it's still that there are people that will be folding way too much in these MTT sit and goes and sit and goes in general. And this is probably our deepest run so far, and we are having a huge stack there. This is a plus side and this is a minus side for having a lot of tables, that we are having a lot of interesting stuff going on. But also I'm screwing up more hands than I'm usually screwing, or I'm used to screwing.
He was checking the nut flush on the river. So he's trying to trap you.
And what's number 1 worth in the $60? It's going to be worth 3,000, second is worth 2,000, and even third would be 4 pigs. I agree with Julos Pro that I was thinking about check backing in the Queen Jack offhand. No, we are not going to bet it, even though But I think that the next best option for me was to be check backing there, and there wasn't a lot of space between the options in my mind.
And then when we hit the 10, it's awful actually.
Like every king, well, not every 10, but every king, every ace, every queen, every jack are going to be when he hasn't acted on any previous treat, it's going to be it's going to be like hard for us to believe him.
Why wouldn't you max?
Because we are still having 25 big blinds. If I wouldn't think that I would be having fold equity against the Hustler, then I would be 3-bet shoving that. ace-jack off fold at the upper left, and we are having a stack of tables at the upper left, so might be that we are losing some hands there and they are not easy to and ace-3 suited, better to call than 3-bet. That was also something that I thought. And we have seen him fold the reverse. And now we got a call from an ace high.
So he's not afraid of calling if he's calling to that kind of river. And board.
Like, I don't blame him, but and we are just having horrible time adjusting to this one Igor Doctor, and then we are also screwing up rest of the tables when it's taking too much of the concentration. Sevens is going to be a tight fold there. It's still nice to have, like, every close decision I think that I'm going to be every decision that I think is going to be close that I'm making, every decision seems to be something that will be taken apart in chat, so
you get nothing cheaply here today.
Yeah, it's...
But you are not hitting anything, and he always has ace, or he has hit something. Like, come on, you cannot always have ace. Ace, ace, ace.
And Eulos Pro, I'm not c-betting turn on the Queen 10 hand because I think that there will be a lot of decent rivers for me to hit and get value from him. And if he comes over the top with the Queen 10 hand, then it's going to be, then it feels that it's going to be horrible for me to be folding that equity. And now we'll see again that his 3-betting is getting way down, and he's mostly calling most of his hands, so I'm having a hard time adjusting to the Igor Doctor. And actually this is something that I thought that when he there is only calling, he's going to have more than his fair share of traps there. And ace-jack is pretty much on the edge. I think that he will have some weaker aces, and he has been really aggressive. But Eulos Pro could probably explain why I should c-bet the Queen 10 offhand. But I think that this is probably been one of the hardest coaching sessions at the end, when I'm getting bulldozed by the Igor Doctor that hasn't played that well, in my opinion, but still having really hard time against him. And he will have the spades so often here that I don't see any sense for me to call this, even though there might be some bluffs as well. Now I'm trying to collect myself for a bit. And when he's not folding, I think I'm going to get more on when I'm going to hit. I'm going to be adjust by not waiting for him to bet, but I'm trying to bet for value myself. And because of pot odds and that the fact that we are not going to be dominated here often, we are going to be getting in that pot, and we are now it starts to feel really infernal here. Like, is it hot in here or what?
Igor Doctor. Maybe this time.
How long will it take this $4.50? Now we have played for it 4 hours and 32 minutes. So it can take 5 hours. And usually I say that usually my mental game is okay, but now I'm starting to get problems with my mental game. Pretty much everything he could have is now ahead of my And Kaleon said a lot of work for $200, and now I need to say that I wholeheartedly agree. And then there is a question on the Justin TV's chat. Where are you from? We are originally from Finland, but we are now residing in Estonia.
Welcome. Nice to see new faces as well.
Yep. And how many tables do we have left? We are having these 4 tables that we are having remaining. These are going to be the final 4 tables for tonight.
Yep. And not even a side pot. This is ridiculous. Come on.
And because he's not going to be folding a lot.
It's like a from Candid Camera or something. Yeah. I don't know how long, ex-def, you have been listening or watching us, but usually Arne is like the most calm poker player ever. But we have been running like shit the whole freaking evening. And then there's that one heads up and there's a new player and he switches his game all the time, so it's really hard to play against him.
He doesn't switch his game, but I think that he's just been, let's say, that's running decent and we will be call downing him this time, even though there is now an ace. When he's just calling, I think it's less likely that he's having an ace. And we're having a break as well. So it's a lot of work for $200.
I would say too much. Too much work for $200.
Yeah, I think it's a break for, and it's going to be the final break for us. We can open up also the $8 game lobby. But we are going to take a cup of coffee more and let's get on with it. We are having a break and back in 5 minutes. We are back for the longest heads up on our MTT sets. And Kyberet, yeah, only grinded 4 hours to secure that $100, and that's probably pretty accurate. And now the eager doctor even switched to a mobile device because he doesn't need a thinking HUD to beat me.
Oh dear.
Oh, wait a while.
Let's think about it.
And
was that your white magic?
I don't know what I need to do. Like,
kill a cow, perhaps.
yeah, that's something that like completely escapes me right now.
I think we are gonna need some sacrifices or something to make this run better.
Yeah, that's something that we'll need. And I'm worried that even this $8 game that's been running 30 minutes will end before this heads up against the eager doctor. If he 3-bets, I'm going to go all in. Because he has been 3-betting on 106 heads-up hands. He has been 3-betting for 25%, so he'll probably include any ace and any Broadway, or there will be a lot of weaker hands. And XDEF, some stupid question, why did you leave Finland? We wanted to see the world. So we got to Tallinn. That's like
the
2
worst
hours.
explanation ever.
It's like 2 hours ferry away from Finland, so it's a different country, but it's still close.
For the fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
We had actually quite a few reasons, but we wanted to go to the south, to a warmer atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think today we are going to be freezing our heads off because I need to take a walk or something to calm myself down after this.
Where are you from, by the way, ex-death? And how on earth did you find us? That's always interesting to hear.
And Pussilpet, good evening for you too. We haven't seen you in a while.
Good evening. Well, I don't know if it's that good of an evening, but still.
And Tupe has grinded Sunday Million for 4.5 hours, but no money yet.
So it could be worse.
Yeah, I thought in Sunday Mill, but when you are even min cashing it, you are getting something like $460. So.
How many players there's left, Tupe? Oh, ex-def is from Slovakia.
So we are having one more guy here for our hockey discussions.
Oh no!
Like everybody comes here from a hockey country, so.
Yeah, if he wasn't here a while ago, we had long conversations about hockey, and it wasn't the first time.
And Kaleon, it has also been warm in here, but it's so windy that the glasses are shaking at our house, so I know that it will feel freaking cold.
It's almost 20 degrees in Slovakia. So maybe we should book some flights with your big winnings today.
Like, if you would be in Finland, I don't think this $200 would be enough for a taxi ride to the airport.
No, it wouldn't.
I think you are getting a taxi ride to a nearest Shell and you can eat some...
One hot dog maximum. Without any ketchup.
And Kyberi want to come to Jaka at April. 150 euros for 9 days in hotel. And that's because of hockey.
Inline hockey.
That's like the hockey for the countries that don't have ice and snow.
Like fake hockey. I hope nobody gets offended.
So Mikko's wife did book the hotel for too long, or what's the story? And now we are pretty much having the nuts. And yeah!
Awesome.
I'm going to borrow something from Markus Grönlund.
Yay! Yay! Oh! We won! We won! Oh my god! That was a lot of work.
Do you know what? This was the first rahastusjahti eligible cash for today.
Oh, and then you can also put that to our $1 million pyttyjahti collection.
Yeah, I'm going to save this lobby.
Oops! Oh dear. Tilulilulay! We got money.
It's gonna be close.
Now we achieved something. I have probably never been that happy of that kind of money.
But well, back to basics.
You're welcome, Virpa. Well, I think this evening is not going to last very long anymore.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. But anything can happen and we never give up.
Probably we'll need to read on your Facebook pages that what's the story. And we will be reading the Facebook pages quite soon because that was our last tournament for today. And we are not having the best of days today. 3,000 hands, 46 180 mans, and we won 12 buy-ins, or we won actually 13 buy-ins. And with winning 13 buy-ins, we managed to lose $390.
Oh well,
That's for running good in
one game.
yeah, it's not even the low buying games.
No,
it's running good
not.
in one game.
Exactly.
But like, can you see all the min caches? Like min cache, a bit more than min cache,
Yeah.
the second to min cache, but there are a lot of min caches or final two table.
Yeah, it could have gone a bit better.
And Kauris says that, are you happy now you won $200? Yeah, and lost $400 doing so. I don't think that I can be really that happy, but well, it's something that happens. And as Tupe said, there are going to be Poker Imania home games going on. They are starting at 25 hour. So if you are still playing, go play the Poker Imania home game and try to win the community there.
So in 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes, yeah, and you'll see, or Tupe should put on our chat, link to the guides on how to join to our Sunday's home game, and you can see it from www.pokerimania.com/forum. And if you are falling asleep, well, have a good night, and if you are still playing poker, may the flops be with you, and we'll hope that you'll win a lot of money and have a great night with poker. Thanks for everyone joining our broadcast, and we hope to see you next week again.
Hopefully Tupe is going to send that link to our chat about that home games. Please do so. And
that's nasty on Callion, that it's like the fusion reactions and you are spending more than you are producing.
Yeah, thanks Tupe. Now Vernonpax and all the others can join the home games. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hope to see you there. And
yeah. And thanks for listening, following, chatting, and hope to see you next week when we have something special going on, probably about sit and goes. Stay tuned and good night.
Yeah. We'll try to translate the next challenge to English as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we're going to be carrying on with the $50 to 5K updates on our forum. But yeah. Have a good night. See ya.
Bye.